Yeah, come on, man.
Go
I know
easy,
the country's a little topsy-turvy, but.
Calling the Utilities Committee to order. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Casey,
Present.
Spencer, Bishop. Here. Ray.
Here.
Harsh.
Here.
Kelly. Valencia.
Present.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Can you please also excuse Councilwoman Spencer? She had a prior engagement today. And to the committee, I want to thank you for being on time so we could start at 10 o'clock. I really appreciate that. You know, I am in timing. So thank you very much for being on time. Director, if you'd like to come on up, we're going to get things going. Ordinance number 491, 2025 by Council Members Casey and Griffin by departmental request. An emergency ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Utilities to enter into one or more requirement contracts for landscape materials, equipment, supplies, and services needed for testing, maintaining, installing, repairing, and replacing landscaping at city-owned or leased Department of Public Utility facilities and city rights-of-way for the Division of Water, Water Pollution Control, Cleveland Public Power, and the Office of Radio Communications, Department of Public Utilities for a period of 2 years. Director?
Thank you, Chairman, members of the committee. Department of Public Utilities has a number of facilities, including office buildings, water filtration plants, pump stations, sewer lift stations, electric service centers, substations, yards, towers that require landscaping services. The scope of work would include turf, trees, shrubs, ground trimming, rain gardens, bioswales, and lawns at facilities and in the right-of-way, and general maintenance and trash litter management. We anticipate our budget $2 million over the 2 years, approximately $1 million. We do break up the contracts into typically around 4 by not only geographic locations, but also by size in order to try to get a more diverse pool of vendors that put in for it. We do publicly procure these contracts, and the current contracts do expire in the first part of 2026, so we would like to get out on the street as soon as possible.
All right, Director, and are these for ongoing maintenance purposes, or are these like one-time landscapes?
Chairman, these are for ongoing, regular, routine cuts, maintenance, cleaning up, debris removal, and so on.
All right. Councilman Polensek?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, my honorable colleagues. So this would be at all of the water plants, all of them?
This is, Chairman, to the council members, so it is all water, it is all water pollution control, Office of Radio Communications.
Right.
But then we do, and at the Midzenti Plaza at 1201.
Yeah.
1825 down the street on Lakeside. We do go out separately for the power because of its location to typically a substation.
Right.
But yeah, it would be all of DPU minus the high voltage.
So the actual, I just want to clarify that. So the substations, who maintains those inside the fence?
Inside the fence, CPP laborers.
Okay. Because you know we have some issues there.
I'm well aware.
Okay.
Chairman of the council.
Now, on the plants, Mr. Chairman, to the director, so we no longer have any ground crews working for the city?
Each chairman to the councilman, each water plant has a crew of laborers that
Okay.
do regular routine snow removal, cleaning up, but because of the size of these properties, right? You've seen them, you know them.
Right.
The landscaping of that would take a standalone crew.
Okay.
And then what would they do after the grass was cut? So we try to mix both full-time and these contracts to do those
Okay.
regular cuts and maintenance.
Because obviously you're very well aware of our concerns about outsourcing work from the standpoint of the council. I just want to make sure that with this legislation, you're not eliminating any of the present employees or internal maintenance that we're doing.
Chairman of the Councilman, absolutely not.
Okay, that's what I need to know, because I can recall at one time when we did everything in-house. And so I just want to make sure that, because that would be my ultimate goal, to get most of the stuff back under the department, because I'm looking at employment opportunities for our residents. So I just want to make sure we're not, you're telling us at the table, no jobs eliminated, et cetera. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, and our Director, in regards to the CPP substations, specifically 44th, around the towers and along the fence line, is that part of this, or are those CPP employees?
At 44th, as a distribution site, that would not be included in this. Those would be laborers of
CPP.
Cleveland Public Power. And I will get back to you. I think we also have a ground maintenance crew vendor similar, but I'll have to check. But for the most part, it's CPP because of the sensitivity of the location.
Okay. Anybody else on 491, 2025? Seeing no questions, please sign up. Ordinance number 533, 2025, by Councilmembers Casey and Griffin, by departmental request, an emergency ordinance authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of petroleum-based fuels for various types of backup generators, including regular and emergency deliveries, purchases, rentals, maintenance, and miscellaneous supporting services for the various divisions of the Department of Public Utilities for a period of 2 years. Director?
Thank you, Chairman. So at a number of facilities at DPU, with a variety of backup power equipment, including turbine generators, diesel electric generators, diesel drives for water pumps, propane electric generators, and power conditioning equipment. They use either diesel or propane fuel. This would allow us to go out to bid for a vendor who can deliver them on a regular basis or in an emergency basis in the proper facilities to the various locations for a period of 2 years, estimated to cost approximately $1 million a year. Again, that's what we budget in the event of, but don't spend nearly that amount. And in the event of a power outage at a water plant, these generators, either diesel or propane, will continue to provide the quality of water that we want to deliver to our customers. So it is important.
And, Director, this has nothing to do with, for example, somebody hits a pole, right, and CPP goes out, and
That's
back
correct,
up.
Chairman. That's correct. These are for specific to the water filtration plants.
Councilman Polensek.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, my honorable colleagues. At each of the plants, how often are those units checked? How often are they run?
Chairman, to the council member, we have a maintenance schedule that requires them running for a certain duration. Again, that depends on the equipment. Some are newer than others that have a very rigid maintenance schedule. Others vary throughout the system, but the commissioner certainly can get you the details.
Mr. Chairman, to the councilman, these generators at the plants, they're tested once a month.
Okay. And so hypothetically speaking, I was here when we had that massive outage, which prompted us to put in these systems years ago. In fact, what year was that?
2003.
2003 that took place. How long can the generator operate at a given plant?
So, Mr. Chairman, what's really key is the size of the diesel tanks.
Right.
The diesel tanks are sized for 24 hours. Okay, even in that big outage, it was like 16 hours.
Right.
But this contract, in an emergency like that, obligates them to get us emergency. If we're running for an extended period, this contract will get us refilled before we run out. Every day if they have to, if there was that type of an outage.
So that would be for, Mr. Chairman, for propane and diesel.
Primarily diesel for the big pumps. The propane are for the smaller loads of the
Okay.
system, computer equipment and such, and the diesel is really what powers the big pumps.
Okay, so you're confident, should we ever have that unfortunate situation again, that we're going to be fine?
Yeah, I was here too then, Councilman,
Yeah.
so it was a hard lesson we learned.
Yeah, we did. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Anybody else on 533, 2025? Seeing none, 533, 2025 stands approved. Please sign up. Ordinance number 822, 2025 by Councilmembers Casey and Griffin by departmental request, an emergency ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Utilities to enter into one or more contracts with OW Investors LLC DBA Mars Company for the professional services necessary to provide software and hardware maintenance for the testing, maintaining, and upgrading of water meters for residential and commercial use, and including acquiring licenses, integrating and installing system upgrades, hardware upgrades, and hardware software, maintenance and related equipment, labor, and materials for the Division of Water, Department of Public Utilities for a period of 3 years. Director?
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, this is proprietary technology with Mars Company for professional services necessary to provide hardware and software maintenance that allows the Meter Ops Group to accurately test and maintain residential and commercial water meters, which keeping customers informed of accurate meter readings is one of our paramount objectives. There's two important components to this. One is the hardware of the maintenance calibration certification. The other is the software maintenance and licensing for the meter management software known as M3 Enterprise Software. They are the only manufacturer that produces computer-driven high-speed water meter test equipment and turnkey installations in the U.S. As you can see, the anticipated cost is elevated from the contract that will expire at the end of the year. That is because there is a number of these components that need to be replaced in the next 2 years. So that's $300,000 we estimate in the first year of this contract. And then the M3 and MCC hardware software maintenance would then go on for the 3 years. Current contract, as stated, does expire at the end of this year, so it's important for us to get back into with Mars and negotiate the contract moving forward.
Director, this is to assure that everybody's bills are right.
The meters are, if the meters are right, the bills are right.
Right.
That's correct. So we do a lot of what's called the bench tests on meters when a customer would have a concern about the calibration of their water meter. We actually remove it, take it to Meter Ops, put it on the Mars bench test equipment, run it. It prints us out a certification that's approved by the American Water Works Association. It's the preferred methodology of testing a meter. Prints us up a report. We're able to provide that back to the customer with the properly functioning meter, and then hopefully that customer has the assurances that our meters are accurate, and that's important.
Gets a copy of that.
We do provide a copy of that to the customer.
Any questions on 822, 2025? Seeing none, 822, 2025 stands approved. Please sign up. Ordinance number 823, 2025 by Councilmembers Casey and Griffin by departmental request, an emergency ordinance authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts for disposal of debris at landfills, transfer stations, and or recycle reclaim facility sites for the Division of Water, Cleveland Public Power, Water Pollution Control, Department of Public Utilities for a term of 2 years with a 1-year option to renew exercisable by the Director of Public Utilities. Director?
Thank you, Chairman. So the Department of Public Utilities does dig a lot of holes, which results in a lot of debris. That debris needs to go to a landfill that's certified by the Ohio EPA, either by our employees at the Department of Public Utilities, or we will fill a dumpster, which would be provided by this contract to the varying sites. They fill the dumpster. They have to come within 48 hours and take the dumpster upon us notifying them that it has to go. It is broken down in your executive summary what we budget in each division for a total of $1.4 million over 2 years. And the current contract does expire at the first part of next year, so we do want to get out to bid as soon as possible.
Director, where's the landfill at that they take it to?
The current vendor is, well, it's Boyus Excavating, and the landfill, I don't know which one they use, or is it in Valley View? The landfill's on site?
Brooklyn Heights, actually.
Brooklyn Heights. Yeah, hopefully we'll get a lot of people interested in this contract, and every contract would have to have an Ohio EPA certified landfill that they take it to. So we don't know where the next contract is, but the current one for Boyus is in Brooklyn Heights.
And is the majority of this stuff just for stuff that's been excavated, mostly dirt or?
Concrete that you broke up.
Sand, asphalt, gravel, mud, clay, tree limbs,
All right.
wood chips, steel,
Okay.
rebar.
Any questions on 823, 2025? Seeing none, 823, 2025 stands approved. Please sign up. Ordinance number 824, 2025, by council members Casey and Griffin, by departmental request, an emergency ordinance authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts for various types of fencing, gate operators, gates, vertical pivot lift gates, barriers, walls, and guardrails, including associated appurtenances and labor and material necessary to repair or maintain existing equipment and appurtenances, including installation, if necessary, at various facilities for the various divisions of Department of Public Utility for a period of 2 years. Director, we got to get the gates open so people can get in and out, right?
That's correct, Chairman. Most of our facilities are surrounded by fences with gates. They do break, and when they do, we do have to fix them in a very timely manner. There is one typo on the executive summary that I just noticed. The current contract expires in January of 2026. It says January 2024, but that's not accurate, and we do go out to bid for these services.
All right, any questions on 824, 2025? Seeing none, 824, 2025 stands approved. Please sign up. Ordinance number 825, 2025, by council members Casey and Griffin, by departmental request, an emergency ordinance authorizing the purchases by one or more requirement contracts of labor and materials necessary to maintain, test, inspect, repair, enhance, or replace and install HVAC systems and component parts, including heating, boilers, ventilation and air conditioning systems, environmental controls, software, and components, including rentals if necessary for the Division of Water, Water Pollution Control, and Cleveland Public Power, and Office of Radio Communications, Department of Public Utilities, for a period of 2 years. Director?
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, maintenance of the HVAC needs and assorted communications, computer server, and other specialized equipment at the various facilities is important. We have had to fix HVAC. It is expensive, so this contract would allow us to have the necessary resources in a timely manner to respond and fix, maintain the various HVAC needs for the Department of Public Utilities. Current contract expires very soon.
All right. Any questions on 825, 2025 with the HVAC? Seeing none, 825, 2025 stands approved. Please sign up. And finally, Director, ordinance number 826, 2025, by council members Casey and Griffin, by departmental request, an emergency ordinance authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of labor and material necessary to test, maintain, and repair backup electrical gear, diesel drives for pumps, petroleum-based fuel equipment, and computer backup systems for the various divisions of Department of Public Utilities for a term of 2 years. Director?
Thank you, Chairman. Similar to the conversation of 533, 2025 for the fuel, this is what the fuel goes into and the machines that use that fuel for the emergency backup, generators and other electrical backup for the Department of Public Utilities. This also includes the testing and replacement of underground storage tanks, which is a very specialized type of work that to test, inspect, and certify the tanks and or replace them would fall under this contract period of 2 years. The current contract is expiring very soon also, so appreciate the committee's support.
All right, I have no questions. Anybody have anything on 826, 2025?
Quick question.
Councilman Harsh?
Through the chair, is this to determine whether or not there is a problem with the tanks? And we'll find out how much it costs to replace them if we need to? Or is the check on the tanks already completed and this is premeditated work?
Similar to the generators themselves, the monthly testing that the commissioner had talked about earlier, that would happen with the tanks just to make sure that they're not leaking.
Okay.
And this would be the vendor that would provide those certifications that we're not leaking.
So this is ongoing maintenance?
Correct.
And checking?
This wouldn't be enough money to replace, but they would tell us this has to be replaced.
Got it. Mr. Chair, I do have one question for them, though, unrelated.
Yeah, we'll have miscellaneous. All right, any other question on 826, 2025? Seeing none, 826, 2025 stands approved. That concludes our legislative portion of the meeting. Director, there's a couple of miscellaneous items. First, I want to let the committee know that in 2024, we set up the arbitration panel for Cleveland Public Power. The arbitration panel had its first hearing So the CPP arbitration panel is up and running. For anybody that wants to dispute their bills, we just want to let that know. Also, Director, can you give us an update on the Shoreway, right? When the eastbound Shoreway lanes will be open and when that repair will be done?
Yes, thank you, Chairman, members of the committee. So we did have a 36-inch a cast iron distribution main break at a seam. It was leaking for a while. Its proximity to the Garrett Morgan water treatment plant, it's right at the top of the hill, and the surge tank there was pretty unique. So isolating that leak in order to make sure that all of our customers maintain service took a little while. The road was closed fully, then it was partially reopened and plated, then we closed it last weekend to fully excavate the break. We did do that starting on Friday at 10 a.m. into Saturday and Sunday. We had some specialized equipment for a permanent clamp on that seam if that were determined to be what happened, right? Until you dig it up, you don't know. So it was right at that seam. The clamp did not fit. However, we were able to caulk that joint, get it under pressure, and it is working, but it's not a permanent fix. So that's why it still maintains the plates and the restriction for the one down to 2 lanes. So our plan moving forward, we are having a specialized clamp fabricated right now as we speak. They're telling us it should take approximately 10 days to 2 weeks. We know we have a Browns game this Sunday here. The guards are back in town next weekend, so we're working around special events. At some point, when we get the fabricated parts back, we're going to inform everybody again. We're going to have to shut it down, dig it up, make the permanent fix, pour some concrete, and then flow fill, and then final pavement restoration. So I don't have until we get that fabricated part, I can't give you a timeline for sure, but as soon as we have it, and the engineers and the crews are confident that it'll work, then we will put out a timeline and make sure everybody's aware of it. But we appreciate everybody's patience. We do monitor it daily, those plates, make sure they're not shifting, the traffic in the morning, to make sure there's nothing we can do a little better. But, following the signs and the barrels and merging is important in rush hour.
All right, so for the Browns game on Sunday, it's still going to be down to 2 lanes, right? So that we can just let people know.
That's correct, Joe.
Okay, so it'll still be just 2 lanes through at least
Next week.
next week. Okay. All right. Anybody else miscellaneous? Councilman Palenci?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for raising that issue. My honorable colleagues. The pipe that broke or let loose was what size?
Chairman of the council member, 36-inch cast iron.
Okay. So you've indicated that we do not have clamps. We did not have clamps that size, correct?
Mr. Chairman, this is what's called a belt clamp. It goes over the joint of the 2 pipes. You have to measure in advance what the diameter is because it is precisely manufactured. These are not off-the-shelf items. If it's 39-inch versus 38-inch, you measure that measurement and send it to the fabricator, and they fabricate it custom for you, every one of these, for this particular type of fit. So for things that are off the shelf, yes, we have plenty of those, Councilman. But this one, because it's custom made.
Okay, that's what Mr. Chairman, that was what I was trying to understand because I had heard that. So there's no way we can order, what you're telling me, we can't order in advance additional clamps should we run into the situation again.
This one actually was from 4 years ago that was measured for 1 joint away, and it doesn't fit here. We had hoped that it would, so we have to trim it essentially to now get it to fit.
So this isn't the pipe that burst, it's the joint.
It's the joint that opened up. That's correct, Councilman.
Okay. I just wanted to get that clarification because I'm trying to explain to residents because we had that break on Coit Road at 140th, that massive with the sinkhole. And I'm trying to maybe for the viewing audience, there's really no way to determine if a pipe is going to let loose, correct?
That magic bullet doesn't exist.
That's
to my knowledge,
exactly.
Councilman.
And I was trying to explain that to folks that there's no crystal ball. There's no way we can predict I've seen new pipes burst, I've seen old pipes burst.
Yes.
And so that's at the end of the day. So somehow there's some folks think we can do some kind of test to determine a condition of a pipe, and there isn't, correct?
It really is not, Councilman, no.
Okay. So that's what needs to be said.
We
Thank you.
don't know until something happens.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Councilman Harsh.
Other miscellaneous.
Councilman Harsh.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Chairman. So on the same subject, though, through the chair, this summer, we had a large number of water mains breaks, seemingly during the hottest period of the summer. And I'm wondering if it's the opinion of the department, if weather has something to do with, my brain wondered if increased demand for water led to higher pressure rates in the pipes, led to more burst pipes, or if it's just bad luck that these happen to all break at the same time. I'm just kind of curious what the thought is on.
You're Chairman of the council member, and Commissioner can certainly elaborate. You're on the right path, not to mention that our big construction happens in the construction season. So there's a lot of different moving parts in the summer. Increased demand, weather, there is shifting below the ground in hot, drought-like conditions. And then other things are taken out of service while we're repairing them or replacing them, which is adding strains to other parts of the distribution center. But Commissioner certainly is the expert.
Certainly, thank you, Director. Mr. Chairman, to the councilman, the director is right. In northern climate cities like ours, cold weather, where you have freezing and frost creation, clearly the peak season for breaks is in the wintertime,
Right.
January, February, no question. And the colder and harsher winter, the more breaks that we get. However, we do some summers see a secondary minor break wave. That depends if it's been hotter and drier and you get almost drought-like type conditions, which there was a spell like that. And as the director mentioned, the ground can crack, and that causes some shifting. There are places in the country out west where their peak season is summer for those reasons. It's not so much because of higher pumping or pressure or anything like that. It's ground shifting. It's the ground drying out and moving, putting extra strains on the pipe, causing them to break.
And so the density of the earth surrounding the pipes, whether it's wet or dry, changes.
It's the movement, we believe.
Interesting.
This seems to be the leading
Oh.
theory. The movement caused by the cracks and fissures in the soil as it dries.
I had one other question, Mr. Chairman, if I may. Thank you for that, by the way. I appreciate that. I have been dealing with an issue in my neighborhood about parking in yards. I'm not a fan of people parking in their front yards. Could a car parking on a front yard conceivably put enough weight down on that yard to crack a water pipe or a sewer line underneath that yard? Do cars weigh enough to crack pipes?
Or sidewalks.
Mr. Chairman, not likely.
No.
Not likely that that's sufficient weight to cause an issue on water mains. Weight of things distribute kind of in a triangle as it goes down, so it's dispersed at the where it gets. So our water mains, especially pressurized water mains, the significant force is not from external, but the pressure inside. So they're strong enough to hold that. So.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Councilman Bishop.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I got a question for the director or commissioner. Some time ago, it's been within a year, we had some work done on one of my main streets where they opened up the street. I'm assuming it was water, Division of Water. So it was opened up for, I don't know, sometime for a couple of weeks. And they made the repair and they put the street back. But when they put the street back, it is terrible. I mean, it's almost like if you drive over this area where they did the work, it's almost like you're going over a speed hump and your car throws up at just 30 miles, 25, 30 miles an hour. So, Mr. Chairman, I wanted to know who inspects those repairs when we, first I wanted somebody to go out and look at it, but I want to know who inspects those repairs if a contractor did it. Did anybody go back and check their work? Through the chair.
Director.
Chairman and the council members will certainly take a look, for sure. And yes, the restoration of a utility, depending on the work that was performed, if it was the whole street, it was a water main replacement or a sewer line replacement or the gas, whoever did the work, final restoration of the pavement would rest with the inspector under our engineering Department of Engineering, if it were a water main, if it was a typical utility cut, and one of our contractors, a vendor, goes out and pours the asphalt, they have to do to our specifications, they have to take pictures of it before and after, and we do inspect those before we pay. So we'll be able to find it to the T with pictures and be able to remediate that in really short order if you just give us the street and the location.
Yes, that's on East 116th Street in Benham Avenue. It's one block south of Union Avenue, right at 116th. It's terrible. It's really terrible.
If it was the Department of Public Utilities, Councilman will be able to take care of
Okay,
that.
thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Councilwoman Gray.
Yes, I just want to reiterate what Councilman Hart asked about that particular question about the pressure on the street. Now, 2 months ago, when you were at the table, you had stated that in one of our utilities section, you had stated that how certain pipes need to be checked after 20, 25, 30 years. You already know that those pipes need to be checked, I guess, through the ferration of the ground. That was like in one of our sessions that we had. You had mentioned that by this triggering what Harsh has said. You had stated months ago that sometimes pipes need to be changed, correct? Remember that statement that you said? But I'm just saying that by you saying that some pipes have to be changed after 20, 30, maybe 50 years, do often that you guys go out and visually put a camera down in the ground, knowing that after 30, 40, 50 years, that pipe may end up, deteriorating after a certain time, to be aware that these pipes need to be, repaired or changed, per se.
Mr. Chairman of the Council, great questions. The televising of pipe is something that is done in the sewer side. Oftentimes, and WPC does some of this, if you put a camera through a sewer, you can tell if there's flaws or failures and some work warranted to be done. That technology doesn't work so much in the drinking water side. If there's a flaw or a crack, you don't see it on the inside with a camera typically. Or if it's corroding on the outside, you're not seeing that from the inside. I'm assuming, Councilwoman, what I probably referred to was what we do when we select mains to be replaced. We look at our 40-year break history, okay? And if a street has a high occurrence of breaks, if it's breaking so frequently, those are the ones that we're targeting for replacement because likelihood it will continue to break at a high rate. There's probably some sort of corrosion factor going on that's impacting that. So I'm assuming that's probably what I referred to, Councilwoman, that we look at our long history of breaks and see which ones are not performing well and select those when we do replace.
Okay, all right. That just triggered that question from right there, what you said. Thank you.
Councilman Polensek.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, honorable colleagues. To the director, obviously you mentioned we're heading into we're in the fall, heading into fall and winter. This summer, as you know from my correspondence, I sustained power outages, no wind, no storms, no nothing, power outages in the community, brownouts. I just want to make sure that going into winter, that those areas in the community where we are experiencing those most frequent brownouts or utility issues, whether because of tree limbs, tree branches, whatever the case may be, I want to make sure that CPP is aware and trying to address those areas, because I don't understand why I continue to have some of these outages in the community. And it's of great concern to me. I'm a strong supporter of Cleveland Public Power, as you know, but I want to make sure that the vision is prepared going into winter to address some of these issues, such as the ongoing problems I'm experiencing. I want to thank the chairman, because I always see him as well, on some of these issues, and he follows up with a lot of them as well. My last point is I want to make to all of us at the table. I was talking to a developer, an out-of-state developer just recently who was investing in the city. And this is what he told me, and I want to say this to my colleagues, and I think most of our colleagues know this, but to the viewing public. He told me the next 5 to 10 years, in his opinion, one of the best places to live is going to be the Midwest. It's going to be northern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, eastern Indiana, Michigan. Number one, because of water. We have the availability of water. And weather. Our weather is not bad. We complain about it now and then, but we know we have good weather, in my opinion. But he also said to me, he said, utilities are going to be critical. Making sure that your infrastructure, your water, your sewer, and your electrical are maintained to the highest standards, because that's what developers are going to be looking for. Can they acquire power? And this guy is into these data centers. They're building these data centers, which use a great amount of power. He said that's what they're going to be looking for, where you can supply power, water, and the infrastructure. So I want to say that. So I know that under the chairman's leadership, the committee here has taken great strides to maintain the system. Everything you guys have asked for, we've done at the table. So going forward, I just want to say again to the administration, to all of us, it's so critical that we maintain these utilities, because if we really want to be competitive, that's what they're going to look at. And so I thought he was giving me, he like had a crystal ball. He said, I'm telling you, the Midwest, listen to what I'm saying, the Midwest is going to be the place to live and to invest in the years to come in this country. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Go ahead, Councilwoman Gray.
Thank you. I had a question from the residents, part of Lochmere and part of Ward 4. A question came up saying that the line, I guess transformers from 116th and Lochmere maybe to Coventry. They weren't sure, but they said that they have a light breakage. The lights are always flickering on and off, and sometimes they're off. And that's part of Ward 6 from 116th and Woodland, going up Lochmere, crossing over to Lochmere to Coventry. I don't know that area. I can't say, but they said the line is off, but they retain it to the transmitters. Said they're having lighting problems over there for the last 3 months, and it's constant. So I sent an email to you, Commissioner, and the Government Affairs Manager, Ms. Cleveland, a while ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, to respond to do an investigation in that on that entire Lochmere area.
Chairman, to the council member, that was the streetlights? Yeah, I think that has been addressed, but I'll make sure the commissioner, I know we had a circuit that had fried on a large swath of streetlights, but it should have been fixed, but I'll double check.
All right, thank you.
And on the streetlights, if we could get an update on St. Clair Avenue between East 72nd and 79th, and what's going on with those that are on sometimes and then off. And then my last one is, Commissioner, if by the end of the day today I could get an update on West 137th, north of Lorraine. We won't go into that at the table, but if you could just get me that update, and I sure hope that the update's not what it's been the last 3 months and that we're working on it, okay? Aside from that, Director, I believe we're doing operation hearings this year. And last year during the budget hearing, I tried advocating for additional dollars for upgrades of Cleveland Public Power. I'm going to continue to do that. So on behalf of the committee, we're going to ask you to take that message back to the administration that council's going to be looking for some additional dollars for upgrades to Cleveland Public Power. We'll leave that upgrade list to you and Commissioner Danielson, but we're definitely going to want to see during this year's budget, something in regards to dollars being allocated for upgrade of Cleveland Public Power. I don't think any of my colleagues on this side of the table are going to disagree with that at all. So
Very important.
aside from that, if there's nothing else for the betterment of the committee, the Utilities Committee stands adjourned until the call of the chair.